If you're over 60, there's a good chance you've noticed something changing lately. Maybe you're not sleeping through the night the way you used to. Maybe you wake up feeling puffy or a little foggy, even after 8 hours in bed. Maybe your ankles look a bit more swollen by evening than they did just a few years ago. You might have chalked it up to getting older. Most people do. But here's something a lot of folks don't realize. Many of these little evening changes are quietly connected to how well your kidneys are working while you sleep. Your kidneys don't get much attention. No one talks about them at dinner parties. But night after night, they're doing some of the hardest work in your entire body, filtering, balancing, and cleaning up after you while you rest. And here's where it gets interesting. There's a simple, ordinary piece of fruit, one you've probably walked right past in the grocery store 100 times, that may actually give your kidneys some extra support if you eat it in the evening, not the morning. Timing, it turns out, matters more than most people think. Stick with me, because in a few minutes I'm going to walk you through exactly which fruit this is, why the evening makes such a difference, and the simple habit thousands of people your age are quietly adding to their routine. But first, let's talk about what's actually happening inside your body every night, and why so many people over 60 are missing the signs. Let's start with something simple. Your kidneys are about the size of your fist, one on each side of your lower back, and their job is to filter your blood. Every single day, they process about 40 gallons of fluid, pulling out waste, balancing your salt and water levels, and keeping your blood pressure steady. Here's the part most people never learned. Kidney function naturally starts to slow down as we age. It's not dramatic, it's not sudden, it's gradual, quiet, almost sneaky. By the time you're in your 60s, your kidneys may be working at a noticeably slower pace than they did at 30, even if you feel perfectly fine. And that's exactly why so many people miss the early signs. Think about it this way. Have you ever gone to bed feeling okay, but woken up with slightly swollen fingers, or a ring that suddenly feels tight? Have you noticed your ankles puffing up by the end of the day, especially after sitting for a while? Do you sometimes feel unusually tired in the evening, even after a day that wasn't particularly demanding? Many people brush these off. They blame the salt in dinner. They blame a bad night's sleep. They blame just getting older. But your kidneys are often working overtime in the background, trying to keep up with fluid balance, sodium levels, and waste removal, especially in the hours after your evening meal, when your body is processing everything you ate that day. Here's something else that surprises people. Your kidneys actually do a lot of their cleanup work at night while you sleep. Blood pressure naturally dips, filtration patterns shift, and your body relies on your kidneys to keep everything balanced until morning. If your kidneys are a little sluggish, that overnight process can become less efficient. And over time, that can affect your energy, your circulation, even how rested you feel when you wake up. This is exactly why so many people over 60 start noticing changes in the evening specifically, not the morning. So the real question becomes, is there anything simple, something you could genuinely enjoy, that supports your kidneys right when they need it most? As it turns out, there is. And it starts with understanding one common mistake almost everyone makes without realizing it. Here's the mistake. Most people think fruit is fruit, eat it whenever, doesn't matter. But when it comes to supporting your kidneys, timing changes everything. Think about your typical day. Coffee in the morning, maybe a banana or an apple with breakfast, lunch somewhere in between, then dinner, often the biggest meal, sometimes a little later than it should be, followed by watching the news or your favorite show on the couch. By the time evening rolls around, your body has already been processing salt, protein, and fluids all day long. Your kidneys have been working since sunrise, and for a lot of people, that evening stretch, right after dinner until bedtime, is actually when kidney workload peaks. That's the part almost nobody talks about. Now here's where the fruit comes in. We're talking about watermelon. I know what you might be thinking. Watermelon feels like a summer picnic food, not exactly medicine. But stay with me, because the reason it matters isn't really about the sweetness. It's about what's happening underneath. Watermelon is over 90% water, but it also contains potassium, an important mineral your kidneys use to help balance sodium and control fluid levels. Many older adults, especially those managing blood pressure, don't get quite enough potassium in their daily meals. And when sodium and potassium fall out of balance, your kidneys have to work harder to keep things stable. Watermelon also contains something called citrulline, a natural compound your body converts into another substance that helps relax and support healthy blood flow. Better blood flow means your kidneys, which rely heavily on steady circulation, can filter more efficiently. Here's a real-life example that might sound familiar. Picture a woman named Carol, 68 years old, who noticed her ankles were puffier by dinner time almost every evening. She wasn't eating badly. She just never gave much thought to when she ate certain foods. Once she started having a small bowl of watermelon in the early evening instead of her usual salty snack, she noticed something within a couple of weeks. Less puffiness, better energy the next morning. Now, this isn't a miracle claim. It's not a cure, but it illustrates something important. Small, consistent choices, made at the right time of day, can genuinely support the systems already working hard inside your body. The surprising part is this. Eating watermelon in the evening, rather than earlier in the day, may align more naturally with your body's overnight fluid balancing process. Instead of asking your kidneys to process a heavy, salty snack right before bed, you're giving them something hydrating, potassium-rich, and easy to work with, right when they need that support most. And this leads to something even more important. Not just what you eat, but how you eat it, and what else you might be doing without realizing it's working against you. So let's talk about how to actually put this into practice, because good information only helps if it fits into your real life. First, timing. If you're going to add watermelon to your evening routine, aim for about 1 to 2 hours after dinner, or as a light evening snack while you're relaxing in front of the TV. A cup to a cup and a half is plenty. This isn't about eating a whole watermelon. It's about giving your body a small, steady boost right when your kidneys are gearing up for their overnight work. Now, here's a mistake many people make without even realizing it. They pair their evening fruit with something salty, a handful of pretzels, some crackers, maybe a few chips while watching television. And here's the problem. Sodium works directly against everything the potassium in watermelon is trying to do. You end up canceling out the very benefit you were hoping for. So a simple swap. If you're craving something crunchy in the evening, try that watermelon on its own, or paired with a small handful of unsalted nuts instead of anything from a chip bag. Second, hydration timing matters too. Many people over 60 either drink too little water throughout the day or drink a large glass right before bed, which can lead to disrupted sleep and extra strain overnight. Watermelon actually helps here because its high water content provides gentle, steady hydration without the need to gulp down a full glass of water right at bedtime. Third, and this one surprises people, don't eat it ice cold straight from the fridge right before lying down. Let it sit at room temperature for a few minutes. Cold foods late at night can sometimes cause mild digestive discomfort, especially for older adults. And the goal here is comfort and ease, not another thing keeping you awake. Fourth, consistency matters more than perfection. You don't need to do this every single night. Even 3 or 4 evenings a week can make a noticeable difference over time. Think of it less like a strict rule and more like a gentle habit. The same way you might take an evening walk or water your garden before dinner. And here's something many people overlook entirely. Watermelon isn't just about potassium and citrulline. It also contains lycopene, an antioxidant that supports healthy cells throughout your body, including the tissues in your kidneys that do the actual filtering work. Over time, that kind of cellular support matters, especially as your body naturally slows down its own repair processes with age. One more thing worth mentioning. If you're on blood pressure medication, a diuretic, or you've been told to watch your potassium intake for any reason, this is exactly the kind of change worth mentioning to your doctor first. Not because watermelon is dangerous, but because your body, your medications, and your specific health picture are unique to you. A quick conversation at your next appointment can help you enjoy this habit with real peace of mind. Small, thoughtful choices like these, made consistently, are often what separate people who feel sluggish and puffy in their 60s and 70s from those who feel steady, light, and clear-headed well into their 80s. And that brings us to the most important part of all, what this really means for you, starting tonight. Here's what I want you to take away from all of this. Your kidneys have been quietly working for you every single day of your life, without applause, without attention, without you ever having to think about them. And now, in your 60s, 70s, or beyond, they're simply asking for a little extra support, especially in the evening hours when they're doing their most important overnight work. You don't need an expensive supplement. You don't need a complicated routine. You don't need to overhaul the way you eat. You just need a small bowl of watermelon, eaten thoughtfully at the right time of day. Remember Carol, the woman we talked about earlier? Her story wasn't dramatic. She didn't wake up one morning transformed. It was small, quiet progress, less puffiness, steadier energy, a little more comfort in her own body. That's usually how real, lasting change works. Not overnight miracles, but small, consistent habits that add up. So tonight, after dinner, instead of reaching for something salty out of habit, consider reaching for a small bowl of watermelon instead. Let your kidneys have an easier night. Give your body the kind of gentle support it's been quietly asking for. And if you're already managing blood pressure, kidney concerns, or you're on medication, just take a moment to mention this to your doctor. A simple question at your next visit can help you move forward with confidence, not guesswork. You've spent decades taking care of everyone else, your family, your work, your responsibilities. This is one small, easy way to take care of the body that's carried you through all of it. If this video helped you see your evenings a little differently, consider sharing it with someone you love, a parent, a spouse, a friend who might need this same gentle reminder. And if you want more simple, practical health habits like this one, stick around because there's more valuable information waiting for you. Take care of yourself tonight. Your kidneys will thank you for it tomorrow.